Okay, ji, Assalamu alaikum. This is our first session, and we are starting with the online program management professional training. As you all understand, because you have all already registered for this course, and you understand what program management is and what this certification is meant for. This certification is from Project Management Institute, and naturally it is a senior level of certification as compared to PMP, Project Management Professional, and there is yet another higher level to that is Portfolio Management Professional. But we are here to talk about program management. Naturally, the base standard for all project management related things is PMBOK Guide 5th edition. But as far as the program management is concerned, you have to study the standard for program management, which is in 3rd edition right now. On top of that, I would strongly recommend that you go through other core standards of PMI because they are all related. PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge, deals with the project management standard. This one is the standard for program management deals with the program, and the portfolio management also has a standard by the name of the standard for portfolio management that is also in 3rd edition. On top of that, the 4th core standard is organizational project management maturity model. I would very strongly recommend that you must go through all these 4 standards. Although your emphasis will be more on the standard for program management, but you must have read through all other 3 core standards. This is the very minimum you can do for your preparation. On top of that, you also need to understand and study other material from diverse sources, which is latest on the subject of program management. And let me show you some of the books. Okay, can you see me? Just hold on a minute. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. There is this book in the market, Program Management Professional Study Guide. It is by, in the bottom, it is Paul Sanghera. Right? This book I will not recommend. Right? This is a good read, but it is not at all good for the examination. If you just want to read it for general knowledge, then this is all right. Because this talks more about project management and less about program management. It is more of a PMP prep, and a little portion is dedicated to program management. And it is all right to be read. But if you are saying that you're preparing for the exam, I would not really recommend it. There is yet another book by Crosswind. This is by Crosswind, PgMP Exam Review Bootcamp Manual, and it is written by Tony Johnson. This is a good material. This has got questions. This has got good description of the things. If you want to read according to the description, then this is good. I mean, the text, more knowledge, that would be, in addition to program management standard, this standard would be good for learning things. Then there is yet another book, and this is the Program Management Professional, a certification study guide with best practices for maximizing business results. And this is written by Craig Letterwick, Stephen Rollins, and Dan Atkins. So this book is again it consists of questions, brief descriptions, but it is not as descriptive as the Crosswind book, and this one is from J. Ross. Let me find another book which was, just hold on a minute, let me bring it up. Right. This is yet another book. You can find all these books on Amazon or on internet. This is all in one PgMP. This I found it to be again a good book, and it is written by Joseph Phillips. Again, it's quite a bulky book. It has got good text to be read around. Your concepts will be clarified. The best of all of them is this one. PGMP exam, practice tests and study guides. This is written by J. Leroy Ward and Ginger Levin. This does not have a lot of explanation of the concepts or terms, but this is so far the best book as far as the exam questions are concerned. So whatever exam questions we will be doing in this course right now, right here, I would have been taking most of the things from this book. So this is good for the exam prep, for the exam questions. So I have shown you 5 different books. I have not recommended the Paul Sanghera book. I have strongly recommended the Ginger Levin book, the last one, and other 3 books have, you have to, if possible, you must read through. This is not that kind of a training in which you can say that you have read the standard of program management and you are ready for exam. Sorry, sir, this is not like that. You have to be studying a lot many things you have to go through, and only then you will be able to understand the concepts, because the questions in the exam are not at all from the book. You may find that only 20-25% concepts are exactly aligned with the standard. Rest everything they are taking from all around the world, from different latest books. These all 5 books which I have shown you, these are all the PGMP prep books. But you must also have studied some program management material, if possible. This is, I know, I understand this is a lot of reading to go on with, but if you make it a habit to read through, different books continuously, I think you will be able to do it. At least if you can't do the whole reading thing, then at least scan through scan through the contents of these books, and you will find the specific topics you want to elaborate upon. I have got other books also on program management, but I will not go into those details. I just wanted to highlight that this is just not this course, or just not 1 or 2 standards we are referring to. We are referring to a number of study guides. We are referring to naturally a number of standards, a number of study guides, and a number of professional books on program management. This much knowledge is required to, go for this exam. Right. As far as I am concerned, I must introduce myself. I know and I understand most of you already know me, but still, just for the benefit of those who do not know me that very well, I think computer connection is a bit slow. My name is Suhail Iqbal, and I have been in the business of training and consulting for project management, program management, portfolio management for over 17 years now. Before that, I have been a practicing engineer and naturally project manager at the senior level. I have served about 35 years in different areas, including construction, IT, social projects, and all that. And after those 35 years, a total of about 35 plus years of experience, which includes a lot of experience as a trainer, and a facilitator. And I have conducted a number of courses on program management also, which is not commonly found in Pakistan, because the total number of PgMPs from Pakistan is very low. Portfolio managers are even lower. So I am probably the only person from Pakistan holding all the PMI certifications and a number of other certifications as well, like Scrum and Prince 2 and all that. So I am training in all those areas, but naturally the most dear to my heart is topic is projects, programs, and portfolios. That's exactly why I'm teaching here today. Right in front of you are the core material, the core of the core. You must study, you must understand all the concepts of our guide to the project management body of knowledge, 5th edition, and your core material from the point of view of your exam is standard for program management, 3rd edition. Just mind it, these standards are soon to be revised. This is the first quarter of this year, and in 3rd quarter of this year, all these standards, these a guide to project management body of knowledge, program management, portfolio management, and probably organizational project management maturity model will all be revised. So in 3rd edition, they will release that, and they will give about 6 months to a year to change. So if at all you are desirous of appearing in the program management professional exam, you must plan for within a year from now. And I will not recommend to sit in the exam in the fag part of this year. I mean fag part of this year, I mean the 1 year available to you from now onwards. So do not try to appear in exam in the early 2018. Make December your maximum latest target, and earliest you can do is within next 3 to 6 months. This is my suggestion. Just hold on up. I just saw Zishan wants to say something. Yes, Zishan. Just hold on up. I have to. Yeah. Sorry. Zishan? Zishan, you wanted to say something? Ji Hasan?
He says something about the application process. Normally, how much time it takes and how easy or difficult it is to qualify for this exam,
देखिए
and especially for the
मैं आपको डिसहार्ट बिल्कुल नहीं करना चाहता, लेकिन just be cautious. This is found to be, या जिन लोगों ने एनालिसिस किया है, this is found to be the most difficult certification worldwide. This is not easy to handle. This is really very difficult. आपका मुझे कहते हैं कि नाकों पसीना आ जाएगा. इसको बहुत ही केयरफुली पढ़ना पड़ेगा, इसलिए बहुत जल्दी करने की जरूरत नहीं है. मैं जो 3 से 6 महीने कह रहा हूं, this is probably too early. But at the same time, you have to see how much time is available to you. I have told you that because of the change in standard, you should target by December of this year. That means you have got just this much time available. You may make your first attempt after 6 months. Say by August, you must appear for the first time. And why I'm saying for the first time, please, again, I don't want to dishearten you, but the pass rate of this exam is very low. Almost everybody fails for the first time. So just take it as granted that you may not pass in the very first attempt. So it is difficult, it is tough. So prepare very carefully, devote a lot of time in whatever the allocation you have made, but do not delay it indefinitely, because if you start delaying it indefinitely, the standard will change, and even you can't keep the track of time, and probably it will take 2, 3, 4 years for you to finally sit in the exam. So make up your mind that you are going for this difficult assignment, and uh, as I suggested, between August this year and December this year is the best time that you should make your 2 attempts. I will pray that you get through in the very first attempt, but you must leave a chance for the second attempt as well before December. So you must make 2 attempts before that. Am I clear on that?
The panel review. What is a panel review?
Panel review is another mechanism in which they have made a panel or a board who carefully looks at your application, sees it very carefully, and they may interview you on phone. So in PMP you don't get interviewed. Here you may get interviewed. If
And
they
how difficult that
then
interview
you
is?
will be allowed to sit.
Hmm.
A bit tough. A bit tough from the even the selection criteria for the eligibility criteria is little tougher.
So hopefully we will get guidance from you before that.
Of course, because when
Sure.
I did this program management certification, there was yet another step which was even more difficult, and that was 360-degree review. And that was
Uh-huh.
really a very difficult job, because it was not only you preparing for the exam, but the people you had been working with, uh, they also have to prepare for program management concepts, and they were also to fill in a kind of a questionnaire, and you were to be marked based on that, and that was really very difficult. Educate everybody around you. But now that thing is no more there, and exam is even cheaper than before. So it is now possible that you can go ahead with it.
Right. I didn't.
Right. Okay. Welcome, Fahad. Fahad, are you there?
He is muted, I think.
I think he's not muted. फहद अपना माइक जरा ऑन कीजिएगा.
It's okay, I think.
Hello, can
जी
you hear me, sir?
जी मैंने कहा जी आपको हम वेलकम कर रहे हैं.
Sir, I apologize, sir. I apologize for being late. Apology from my side. So I hope I haven't missed out much.
No, we have just started, and we were just introducing, and
Oh,
actually now you have come and the quorum is complete. So I would I have introduced myself. I will like you to introduce yourselves, each one of you. So Mike is in front of Fahad. So Fahad, to start, please introduce briefly.
sure, sir. So, sir, I'm right now working for Empire Life as IT project manager, Empire Life Insurance Company in India. So basically, I have about 12 years of experience working in telecommunications as well as insurance industry now, and mostly the projects that I have delivered are basically transformation projects related to business support systems in telecommunications, value-added services, complete transformation from one vendor to another. In Empire Life Insurance Company, it's been like almost 1.5 years that I'm associated with them, and I've worked on Microsoft Dynamics CRM transformation from Salesforce to Microsoft Dynamics, and right now I'm working on tax program, which includes complete legislative filing for tax as well as FACTA and common reporting standards. So basically, I have good experience about working on different now the hope is that I can hopefully get the program management certification to take my career to the next level. I'm a certified PMP already, and if you remember when I was working in Malaysia before Canada, you were the one who basically provided us with the training, and leveraging on the same training I got my PMP certification, so thank you very much for that.
So that was also online training?
Yes, that was an online training जो आपने कराई थी sir, and if you remember I was in Malaysia at the
Yeah, exactly. So after that, this is I have not conducted any other online training, and this is again the next time you are with us in PGMP course. Good.
Oh, I didn't knew that, sir. I thought कि आपने शायद online sessions जो आप करा रहे थे.
People were not gathering together, so this is the first time we are doing it again.
Okay. I see.
Right.
So that's about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's about me.
Right. Right. Abu Bakr, Hassan Said.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abu Bakr. I'm IT professional, more than 18 years of experience of PMP, trainings also, project management also, software industry also. So right now I'm based in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and I'm running my own training institute here. And my student of sir as well in 2005, and now again 17 inshallah.
Wonderful. You will also be a PGMP soon. So, Taimur?
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, sir. मैं civil engineer हूँ. Last 15 years I'm in Saudi Arabia, working in a consultant and housing project. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I also taken the PMP from you, which you give to Fahad, sorry, sir.
Right. Okay. So we have got all old students here. Who is left? Fahad?
Zishan?
Zishan.
Yes.
Zishan Makbul.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. My name is Zishan, and I'm physically located in Denmark. Certified as a PMP back in 2012. Originally, I'm a mechanical engineer and have worked in PIA and the Scandinavian airline in Copenhagen. However, from 2013, I changed my career to be full-time project manager, and right now I'm in IT field, working as IT project manager for Lego. So that's my journey so far, and right now I'm also working on the programs. So I'm quite interested to know what's the knowledge behind the program management from PMI. And yes, looking forward to the certification in future.
Wonderful. So that much for the introduction, and I have introduced myself, and now get back to what we were talking about. You see, if you raise your hand, I will see, but sometimes, I am so busy talking, I may ignore it. So maybe it takes a little time, but don't worry, I'll ultimately get back to you. So I'm again muting you all, and I'm going to be speaking again. Right. So I was talking about the core standards which you need to follow. There are 4 core standards, but we need to specifically follow the PMBOK and the program management standard. I have told you these standards are going to change very soon, and therefore you need to do your PGMP exam as soon as possible, and that is not later than December. You can do it by the March of 2018, but then that would be stretching it too thin, because in the fag end, exam becomes difficult to pass. Probably most of you who are PMP, they do understand this point, that as the exam is changing, the last 3 months, there is so much rush in the exam centers that people tend to fail a lot. So don't try getting into that area. And till December 2017, it is safe. Okay, these in front of you on the screen, there are the 3 standards: the project management and program management and the portfolio management. I suggest you read them all. Not only these three, but also the OPM standard, which is part of the core. You can see in this that each standard is shown on a triangle. Project Management Body of Knowledge, PMBOK guide, is the base, is the widest base. On top of it is program management. On top of it is portfolio management. And all of them put together are OPM3, Organizational Project Management Maturity Model. At organizational level, if you want to see how mature an organization is in organizational project management, then it must fulfill project, program, and portfolio criteria. As far as the project, program, and portfolio standards are concerned, they concern with the skills of the project manager, of program manager, of portfolio manager individually. These are not organizational skills. But in an organization, all these skills have to be used together in some kind of environment in which not only the project managers and program managers and portfolio managers are capable, but the environment of the organization is such that accommodates them. Sometimes you have got all the certified people, all qualified people, all project, program, and portfolio managers who know everything, but organization is very docile towards these things, and therefore that cannot be a mature organization. So although this is not within the scope of this course, but I strongly recommend that you must also read through the OPM3 standard. You do understand that in addition to these 4 standards, PMI has got a number of other standards as well. And if some of you have already certified in risk management or scheduling or agile or business analysis, you would know what is the relation and how these certifications have come up. All of these certifications, rather I would say most of these certifications are based on these standards. Like you see, the risk management standard, this is the standard which is the base for the PMI-RMP certification. There is a scheduling standard. This is the base for the PMI-SP certification. PMI has recently come up with the agile standard, which is probably about to be released, but at the same time they have also come up with a software extension. So this talks a lot about the agile as well. And the interesting part is the new additions of PMBOK and program and portfolio management, which are coming up soon in the 3rd quarter of this year. They are going to be talking more about agile, especially PMBOK 6th edition would be, translating every knowledge area into agile. So there would be a paragraph added in each chapter, in each knowledge area on how to do it in an agile way. So agile is no more for the software industry alone. It is now soon going to be employed and applied in all disciplines, all kinds of projects, programs, and portfolios, and therefore you must wake up to this reality. Then we have got other standards, like you see, we have got the practice standard for project estimation, we have got earned value management. Don't take them lightly. They are all good standards. I teach here in universities, and trust me, there is a lot of useful information in these standards which is not there in PMBOK. It is beyond PMBOK. The things are explained in much more details. Like we have got the configuration management standard, and you see the PMBOK does not talk much about configuration except for just defining it at a place or two. Then we have got a work breakdown structure that talks a lot more than PMBOK about WBS. Then they have got certain extensions. These extensions are for specific industries like, construction extension, software extension, government extension. There is yet another defense extension which is restricted and it is not available to the public. It is for Department of Defense, USA. So all these extensions are created with additional knowledge to PMBOK to apply in that specific industry. And on top of everything, there is yet another standard shown at the bottom right corner, that is called PMCDF, Project Managers Competency Development Framework, and that is for the individual competency of a project manager. How can a project manager improve and enhance their skills? No matter if you are a PMP or a PGMP, still you need to read through this standard. This is very good for your general improvement, your competency enhancement. This is a very good standard. So if you are now talking about PGMP, then probably I believe you must have read through all these standards. You must know what PMI is doing and what is this all framework about. So if not, then the minimal I have told you, you must go through the 4 core standards: PMBOK, Program Management, Portfolio Management, and OPM3. And if you even want to go on bare minimum, then PMBOK and Program Management, these should be your basic material. Right. Then we move on to the subject of Program Management Professional, PGMP. So we'll talk a bit about PGMP. You all must have tried PMI website. You must have seen the requirements of PGMP on the website, as well as you must also have downloaded the PGMP handbook. And I know you all are aware because you all are already PMPs and you are aware about PMP handbook. So you must have seen the PGMP handbook. If not, please download it from PMI website. This explains, like in the case of PMP, all the requirements and the syllabus and everything of this certification. The statistics to date are the members of PMI. I don't think this is the latest, but about a month back I compiled it. Members of PMI were about 500,000. PMPs are 725,000. CAPMs are 31,855. ACPs are 12,500 around. RMPs are 3,693. SPs are 1,500 only. PGMPs are, this is also low, 1,680 only worldwide. Total number of PGMPs in the world right now is just 1,680. And you are trying to get into this. And you can imagine how difficult and trying this certification could be. This is not really very easy. PBA, there are just 919 professionals. Portfolio, just 346. And I pray that you do your PGMP and you must immediately launch on the journey towards the portfolio management professional. That is the most prized certification by PMI so far. And interestingly, portfolio management professional is kind of easier than program management professional, because once you know all the concepts, then portfolio becomes much more easier for you. Number of PMBOKs, because PMBOK is required by anyone and everyone. This is 5.3 million copies of PMBOKs in circulation. You can see all these statistics on PMI publications you keep getting as a PMI member. So you see the current status, you can see the growth of PGMPs over the years. In 2007, there were only 31 PGMPs. Probably I was in the first 100 PGMPs or so. Then it kept increasing exponentially, and right now it is over 1,700 PGMPs. The last record showed 1771. As compared to the current status and the future growth, you can see the growth indicates that it could have been 1,930 in 2016, but they are just 1,770. It is tough. So it is not increasing that exponentially that PMP has grown. This is the list of PGMPs which I knew. There were about 18, and recently I checked, I came across about 8 more people who have qualified PgMPs. So probably this is about 25 to 30 people from who are Pakistanis. I'm not saying from Pakistan, they are Pakistanis. These are the people who have done PgMP. This is the certification you may get. This is the template of the certification you may get. Okay. Now, once we talk about program management professional, it is much beyond the project management you have studied. I normally say that PMP is the entrance gate to the whole knowledge world of organizational project management. PMP is not everything. PMP is just introduction to this new wide world. So you will be recognized as a program management professional if you can show advanced knowledge, not in just in project management, but in some other skills, advanced knowledge, skills and performance, which I believe that all of you do have. And in what these things you require, they are required in the oversight of multiple related projects and their resources aligned with organizational objectives. I am sorry for small little typos here and there. There might be a lot many typos later also. So please just ignore that, and I will keep fixing these things over the period. PGMP certification holders oversee the success of a program. No, we are now talking about something wider than a project, which you have been dealing with earlier. And those of you who are dealing with programs, they might be dealing with multiple projects. So a way to group multiple related projects to achieve benefits that may not be realized if the projects are managed in a standalone fashion. So this specific aspect we will debate in detail, because this is not a game of words. This is a reality. You are dealing with a number of projects, and here these multiple projects are supposed to be related with each other as well. If they are not related, you just can't group certain number of projects and start calling them program. They do not become just program by putting them together, because putting them together is normally a portfolio. Okay, to pass this exam, you must go through two processes, two evaluation stages. First is the panel review. Naturally, you will send in your application, and your application in case of PMP was, either audited or whatever, and then you were, accepted for the exam. But here, you have to go through a panel review. So you can split this evaluation number one into two parts. One is the acceptance of the application, and the second part is the panel review. Panel review is a board may interview you on telephone, or maybe on a teleconference, or sometimes it is possible that they can send in their questions and you can email them back the answers. But they have to be satisfied. Only when they will be satisfied, they will allow you to sit in the exam. And the second part is the exam itself. And this is a multiple choice examination, just like PMP, but not really very like PMP. The pattern is very different. Although they are objective type questions, although there are 4 options, although one option is only correct, but at the same time, the structuring of the questions are very different from PMP. And that is one reason people do fail in this exam mostly. I hope you do understand the PMI credential life cycle, and you have seen that before in PMP as well. But you see, all the certifications PMI is coming up, and then they are revising it all the time. This is the process they go through. Basically, if there is a need in the market, only then a certification, the need for certification, the business case would be created for that certification. So PMI helps conduct market research by third party, and this is kind of a global survey. This survey is not only to be done in America or somewhere, but this is a global survey, and this global survey is conducted by some professional bodies who are supposed to be doing these surveys and all that. They are paid heavily for doing this thing, and this survey is conducted for the very first time when PMI feels the business need. But later on, after every 3 to 5 years, this is done again and again and again because market demand might be changing. If you are a PgMP today, whatever requirements the market expected from a PgMP today might not be the same after 5 years. So after 3 to 5 years, PMI will again conduct the market research, and the type of program managers wanted by the market at that point in time would be surveyed and noted down, and the knowledge and skills and tasks they need to do would be noted down. And trust me, the examination is tailored around this market research. Examination is not specifically made around the standard. Although we do read and understand the standard, we do follow the standard, but examination is not about the standard only. This is about the knowledge of program management widely known in the market. Therefore, the questions appearing in the exam might be coming from any other book prevalent in the market. I am not talking about the study guides. I am talking about the base knowledge, the books on program management. So you must know what is happening all around you. What are the latest books on program management? Is there any new concept introduced there? How the things are put together there? And if you know your program management standard, then you can relate it with that book, and you would know exactly what the concept is. Now, based on this market research, a team is gathered of volunteers, and they are given the results of this market research, and they are asked to develop specifications for the exam. That is exactly, laying down the syllabus. Which characteristics of project managers are to be tested, program managers are to be tested, exactly what tasks they should have done. This is in their exam specification. This exam specification I will share with you, I will discuss with you, and you must prepare your exam exactly according to the exam specification, because that is the syllabus. The standard is not the syllabus. That is the syllabus. Therefore, exam specification is of importance. Now, this exam specification is given to the exam development team, the people responsible for creating and developing the questions. These people make questions exactly according to the exam specifications. They cannot restrict themselves to PMBOK or the standard for program management. They could take questions from anywhere in the world. But all the questions will comply exactly according to the examination specification. That is the core thing. For the very first time when a certification is introduced, it is piloted. The credential exam is piloted, and now you don't need to consider piloting, because the pilot exam has already been done for PgMP, and the people who appeared in the very beginning, they were in the pilot exam. And once they are, it is established that this credential exam is okay, this is not too easy or not too difficult, and it is also established that what is the pass criteria for the exam, because in pilot exam there is no pass criteria. Once we give the exam, they do not give us tell us the result. They just take their own time, and then they compute and try to formulate whom to pass and whom not to pass. Then they establish the pass criteria after our exam is taken as a pilot. Once that is established, then the credential is released to the market, and then ultimately you can sit in the exam. Right now, PgMP has gone through at least 2 market research, and therefore there is no more, not going to be any more pilots. So whenever the exam will change, the new questions will be introduced and a date will be announced, and you will be told that after that date, your exam will be on the new exam specification. You just have to follow the new exam specification. Right now, whatever is the prevalent exam specification, that will be discussed with you, and you will prepare. What I am saying, appearing in the exam before December, then you would be following this exam specification which is prevalent right now. But if you decide not to do it before December or not to do it even before March of 2018, then probably you have to be preparing for the new exam specification which will be released ultimately. So I am presuming that you all are going to be appearing before December of this year. Now, the timelines for PgMP is very similar to what the PMP was, but with a slight difference, because here we have got the panel review added, and this takes about approximately 4 weeks. So the same process is the same. You apply within 90 days, your application should be submitted. The completeness review in this case is up to 10 days. In PMP, in the case of PMP, it was 5 days. In this case, it is 10 days. So the day you submit your application, within 10 days, you will get a response. Then you will be asked to make the payment. Once you make the payment, your audit process will start. Audit process has nothing to do with the panel review. Audit process is all about your application. If your application is lacking something, or it's something doubtful, or audits are normally not exactly due to a reason. Audits are picked randomly. They pick out an application, about 10% applications are picked out, and these applications are then reviewed, and if there is a clarification required in certain points, they are asked to provide that. Okay, once you pass through the audit process, for which you are given 90 days, then you enter into the panel review phase, and in this, in 4 weeks, you would be interviewed maybe one time or 2 times or whatever they feel necessary, and ultimately, if you pass this stage, only then you will be allowed to sit in the exam. If you fail in panel review, you will not be allowed to sit in the exam, and rest of your money out of the processing would be returned to you. So this is almost an exam in itself. Panel review, passing the panel review is a must for you. Once you have done that, half of your problem is over. Now it is just a matter of passing the exam itself. The exam has got 170 questions. We'll talk about it later, but you see, the day you are allowed to sit in the exam, they will give you 1 year after that. After this panel review, you will be given 1 year. From the date you pass the panel review, that time starts. You can take the exam up to 3 times. I told you, and you know already, in the case of PMP also, you can appear 3 times in 1 year. But that doesn't mean it is all free. The only advantage of reappearing is that you don't have to pay the processing fee. Only the exam fee, which whatever that exam fee is, you have to pay that much, and you can sit again. But if you do not avail these 3 chances, then for the next year, you have to reapply from the beginning. After that, your certification cycle starts. Naturally, just a moment, where Fahad wants to say something. Yes, Fahad. Fahad, you wanted to say something?
Yes, sir. Ask about the audit system. I know the process is conditional. I mean, if your application is called for an audit, so that one is conditional. What I'm understanding is that it's mandatory here. So,
oh, yes.
What to expect out of a panel review? Like, will they ask me to go through my previous projects or the programs, or those, or is there a specific sort of a questionnaire
right
I can expect?
Yeah, you are correct in saying that. Yeah, I just forgot. It is not only 10% of the applications. In case of PGMP, 100% of the applications are audited. Number one.
Oh, okay.
100%, everybody will be audited. Number 2, for the panel review, they want to be sure that whatever you are claiming in your application, you really possess that knowledge. So they will test you by asking you various questions which should prove that you really have done what you claim that you have done. So if they find that your answers are not satisfactory, then probably they will not allow you to sit in the exam.
And it can either be in the form of a telephonic conversation or an email or anything. कोई specific इसमें pattern तो नहीं है जो.
Mostly it would be a teleconference. The board will be sitting on the other end, the panel will be sitting on the other end, and they would be asking you questions. It could be one person talking to you only, or it could be telephone. But the most chances are that they will be using WebEx for that.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so we should continue then. Okay. Right. Rest of the process is the same. You see, once you qualify for PgMP, I mean, you have passed the exam. The certification cycle is just like PMP, 3 years, and you have to gain 60 PDUs, and these 60 PDUs have to be in the area of program management. The credential is renewed after 3 years of showing 60 PDUs, and naturally, whatever the $100 or $60 fee for every year, every 3 years. And if you don't do that, then after 1 year, your credential would be suspended. You have not renewed it in the 3 years. You are given an extra year, and you are suspended in that year. You are not a PGMP in that period, but you are given extra time to fulfill the requirement of 60 PDUs. And if you do that, you without any further exam, you can get your PGMP status back. But if you waste this 4th year completely and you do not fulfill this requirement, then your PGMP is gone. It is expired. And if you want to be PGMP again, you have to go through the whole process from the beginning. Moreover, there is an interesting point that PMP, PGMP, and Portfolio Management Professional, all these 3 certifications are tied together. You don't have to gain 60 PDUs separately for PMP, 60 PDUs separately for PGMP, and 60 PDUs separately for PFMP. You gain just 60 PDUs, and they are counted towards all 3. So this is comparatively easier. So you keep doing your normal 60 PDUs and pay for the 3 certifications or 2 certifications, whatever you have, and it will be renewed. So that much is for the timeline of PGMP application and exam. As far as the PGMP role delineation study is concerned, you see this happens when we are doing the market research. PMI is doing the market research. This could be, they can go back to the market. I said 3 to 5 years. It can take 5 to 7 years. In 5 to 7 years, they will hire a third party to conduct the study. They will discuss the roles associated with the credential, for PGMP credential for that matter, with the market leaders, and they would ask, the market leaders would tell them what are the tasks and responsibilities they are expecting from a program manager. So this will provide the blueprint for the exam, and ultimately exam will be revised in light of that. The candidate for the PMP credential, these are the basic job analysis requirements right now which are prevalent. Under minimal supervision, a program managers are responsible and accountable for the coordinated management of the multiple related projects directed towards strategic, business, and organizational objectives. Now, this might not look something new to you, but you see, you have to get into the mindset of a program manager rather than a project manager. You are no more a project manager. So now you are not talking about just a project. You are talking about orchestrating a number of projects which are interrelated, intercoordinated, and they are directed towards fulfilling the business requirements and the organizational objectives. So yes, we already know that the projects are aligned with the organizational strategy, and we were already pursuing the organizational goals. But here, for a program manager, this is a wider, a bigger objective, a bigger strategic objective than a project manager's strategic objective. So this alignment is much more pricey. This is not just like a project. Our program managers, they build credibility. They have to deal with people. They have to deal with stakeholders. They have to build credibility that they can really handle this kind of job. This is a huge job they are doing. Are they credible to do that? Are they capable of doing that? Do they have credibility in the market as a senior person who can handle this much job? He must establish a rapport and maintain communication with all the stakeholders at multiple levels, including those external to the organization. You see, this is a job of uh, people management. It's not even the man management or human. It is people management, and rather I would say stakeholder management. Everybody inside and outside of the organization have to be, you have to be cordial with everybody. You have to understand everybody. You have to communicate with everybody. And the audience here, the stakeholder here is much different than project, because this is a much wider audience as a program manager. Program managers define and initiate projects. Naturally, the projects under a program manager are the responsibility of program manager, and the initiation, business case, definition, initiation of all the projects under the program are the responsibility of the program manager. So he would be the sponsor for all his projects. So he would be doing the project sponsor role for all his projects. Then he would assign the project managers for each of those projects for the purposes of managing the cost, schedule, performance of all the component projects. When we say component projects, that means the projects inside of a program, your program, while working to ensure the ultimate success and acceptance of the program. So these project managers are actually working towards the benefit of the organization through program. So the program should be successful as if the strategic objectives of the program are fulfilled, and ultimately the organizational strategy is fulfilled. So these are the additional responsibilities for the program manager. Then program manager maintains continuous alignment of program scope. We are not saying the projects must remain aligned with the program. That is definitely a requirement, but program manager has to continuously watch that all its projects or components are aligned with the overall program scope, and that program scope is aligned with the strategic business objective. And in case there is something wrong going on, he must make recommendations to put that situation right, to modify the program, to enhance effectiveness towards the business results of strategic intent. The intent should be met. The initial intent, the organizational objective according to which this program is aligned, that has to be met. And if there is any variation, you are not exactly meeting that, then you have to correct that. And recommendations for that has to be put up by the program manager to naturally the governance board of the program. Program managers are responsible for determining and coordinating the sharing of resources. Now what we are talking about? We are talking about the various projects or components running within a program. They might have their own resource pool at program level, and those resources are being shared by these constituent projects. So the justifiable sharing of these resources is the responsibility of the program manager, and the ultimate benefit is the overall benefit of the program. So this justified sharing of resources is for the purpose of overall benefit of the program, and if the benefit is achieving the overall benefit, then it is being aligned with the organizational strategy. Program managers possess the knowledge and skills needed to be effective in project, business, and government environment to make decisions that accomplish strategic objectives. So this talks about the capability of a program manager. He must have the knowledge expected at the level of program. It is not the project management knowledge which is going to give you a win-win situation. You have to gain specific knowledge and specific skills needed by a program manager to be effective in your dealings with your constituent projects, with the whole business and the overall environment. And the ultimate goal again is the accomplishment of the strategic objective. In addition, program manager should have advanced skills. You see, these skills are much more than a project manager could have. I mean, the higher the level, the better the skill you need. You may not need detailed skills about the work itself, but the overall finance management of the whole program. Cross-cultural awareness, because if it is a program, definitely you are dealing with people from, diverse stakeholders, maybe from cross-cultural environment. So that awareness should be there. People should know that we are not the only people working on this program. There are people from China also working on it. Maybe from America, people are working on it. And this time does not suit them. Therefore, cross-cultural awareness has to be there. Leadership skills at a very specific level here. G for
Sir, I heard you mention that a program manager is also the sponsor for the various projects under that program.
exactly.
So, I mean, I have a slight bit of confusion here because if you can maybe elaborate more on that, because the program that I was assigned to in Canada, I mean, even though I was managing all those projects which were under the program, but we still had a dedicated project sponsor and we were having the steering committee and all the decisions were made there and all that. So, I mean, what's the segregation between the actual project sponsor and me acting as a program manager, as a sponsor for my projects?
Okay. You see, did you have separate project sponsors for every project?
No, project sponsor, different tax projects which were part of the tax program.
Okay.
But I was having a program I was having a program sponsor for that. But I was also managing all those three projects.
Right.
So another confusion is that my designation was not that of a program manager. I was a project manager, but I was having these three projects which were bundled together in a program.
Okay. Even if we believe that you were a program manager, then the person who was you're calling sponsor was a program sponsor, and every program will have a sponsor.
Okay, so in that case, I should not categorize myself as the program manager. Then was he the program manager?
No. I am assuming that you were the program manager and the person who was on top of you was the program sponsor. He was the person who assigned you this program, and all the responsibility of creating the projects should be with the program manager.
Okay.
I understand what you are saying is that you were still acting like a project manager and all such decisions were taken by him. Is it so?
Yes, correct.
Right. So this was a bit mutilated way of doing the program management. He was not ready to give you the powers of a program manager. He called himself a sponsor, and he was actually doing as a project manager and the program manager and a program sponsor as well, which is not really very correct. But you see, every organization have their own way of working, and actually organizations are learning. Organizations are learning and they are amending their ways.
So, sir, generally speaking, like if you are working as a program manager, you should not have a separate project. Also?
Okay. For all the projects within your program, if you have got 5 projects, right? The person on top of you is the program sponsor. He is the person who assigned you the overall responsibility of the program, and the financing and everything, all decisions related to the overall program is being dealt with that program sponsor, and on top of the program sponsor there is another body which is called governance board. So at very strategic level, these people do exist, the program sponsor and the governance board. But once a program sponsor assigns the program to a program manager, then program manager has sole responsibility of running the program, of creating the projects within a program, or whatever components you want to do within the program. So you become the project sponsor for all your component projects. So sponsorship of individual projects is with you as a program manager.
Okay, so I'm sorry for prolonging this, but sir, so the program sponsor has assigned me these 3 projects which are part of this program. Now
Right.
I have the responsibility for the sponsorship of these projects. I get that. My question is, what's the limit? I mean, what are the decisions, or what are the cost approvals, or whatever sponsor does basically? What's sort of the limit that I can approve for my projects which are part of the program until here? And beyond that, I have to go back to my program.
Okay. The first thing is, the person who is assigning you the program must not assign you the projects. The person who is assigning you the program, he should not assign you the project, because you are to think over the objectives of the program and create the need for whatever constituent projects you want to create under it. So this is your decision what projects will be created. So if he is giving you exactly the projects you have to do, then you are not the program manager at all. Then you are kind of a project manager of various projects. Ji, Zishan?
Sir, just continuing on this discussion, I just want to clarify this concept. Right now, the program, project, whatever it is, just trying to define the concept I'm managing. We create the streams and the stream owners and so on, and that's basically on my level as a program manager or the project manager, that from the steering committee we get a budget of 10 million, and then within this, if I assign 2 million one stream and 5 million another stream, and maybe try to manage if one needs more or less, that's probably still a program, even though we call them a stream and we have specific stream owners and so on.
Okay.
So can we call that a program, or is it should be the stream is not the right word?
No, stream is your customized word from your organization, but this is a very good word, because what does a stream mean? Stream means that this is a stream which is meeting a specific strategic objective of the organization. So this is a stream objective you are picking on. So you are just concerned about fulfilling that objective, and how to meet that objective. You will create your projects within your program. And within this stream, you will create your own projects, which put together would be ultimately yielding that benefit which was expected out of the stream.
Yeah. And then leading to this discussion, if I have 3 streams in a program that I'm the program manager, could that still be a program manager who is maybe leading the 2 streams, and the third is leading another person, or is the program manager only leading the helicopter view, and there is this dedicated stream owners for each?
You see,
according to PMI perspective.
When you say stream, I understand you are not talking about a specific project. Is it so? Ishan?
Sorry, I missed the voice in between, so I couldn't hear your answer.
Okay. I think the net is not really very good here. I said a stream is a stream dedicated to a specific product or deliverable, or it is towards a wider strategic objective?
We can say that to the deliverables.
You see, if it is pointed towards deliverable, then this is not a program at all. Then it is a project. The simple difference between a project and a program is that a project creates deliverables or products. Program does not deliver products or deliverables. Program delivers benefits.
Okay.
So this is the main difference. So I don't know what is the connotation of the stream in your organization, but what I understood earlier was that stream is probably something you want to achieve, and this is a benefit defined that we want this benefit delivered, and ultimately you are made responsible for that stream, and then you design the deliverables out of it. Naturally, if you design the deliverables out of it, you are designing the projects within that stream. So in that case, what I understand, the stream would be a program. But if the thing you're calling a stream is delivering direct results, direct deliverables, then this is not a program. Then this is a project.
Okay. Okay. So on the program level, we have the benefits, and then we create projects to realize those benefits.
Exactly. So all the projects will deliver deliverables, but they would ultimately be contributing towards that overall benefit, and that benefit of the program, the result of the program is a benefit. When that benefit is delivered, that benefit aligns with the organizational strategy.
Okay.
So that's that. Fahad, are we okay? You want to ask something more?
No, sir, we are okay. It's just that, like, I'm sure it's coming, but in my case, I have done many projects. I have done multiple projects like assigned to me, and they were part of the program. But like based on the discussion that we are having, I'm slightly confused whether I'm actually eligible to apply for the PgMP certification or not, because you know, the distinction between a project and a program, if you can talk a bit more about it. So
Fahad, I'll tell you, if you go on the classical meaning of a program, then nobody in this world will be qualified to sit in the PGMP exam. So anybody who is sitting in the PGMP exam is the person who somehow deals with some kind of program management experience. That might not be just exactly according to the standards, but you know, concepts are different in every organization. But if you are dealing with program and you can translate whatever you are doing into what we are, you know, teaching you here, ultimately you will be able to, you know, equate them. If you can create that equation, then probably you have that relevant experience.
okay.
So don't really worry about that. Even those who are qualified PGMPs, I know of many who do not have any program management experience according to the standard. So
Okay,
don't worry, you
sir.
are a program manager, you are dealing with programs, you just have to fix your knowledge a bit and you can sit in the exam.
Okay, so the only problem is because you are talking about the panel review and all that, and if they deem your knowledge as in sufficient, then they may disqualify you.
Exactly.
So that was my concern. Like maybe I can discuss with you, and as we go on for these 20 days, I can get more clarity into it. But I mean, I just want to make sure that when I go for it and I have that panel review and the audit process, I meet up the expectations, knowing that I have the relevant experience, but I want to make sure that I have the knowledge as well, like when it comes to communicating.
That is exactly my point, that now you know the job analysis requirements. At least these requirements you understand now, and you can translate your experience into these terms.
Exactly.
And if you can prove that you are doing something like this, they would not have any objection.
Understood.
So I will move on. So we were talking about the third job analysis requirement. I said project manager should have advanced skills in finance, cross-cultural awareness, we understand that. Leadership, naturally this leadership is much bigger than the project managers, the type of leadership the project manager is exercising. Program management is a bigger platform. Communication will also be wider. Influence he has to, you know, exercise is not on again on a smaller audience, but this is going out to the external stakeholders more, and he has to keep a lot many other people satisfied than what he had to do in a project. There will be a lot of negotiations going on with everybody up and down, and there will be conflicts all the time, and he has to be very, very, very patient man. Up, you know, your human skills, your soft skills as a program manager are much more important. They are much more refined than a project manager. That is exactly what you are grooming into. This is what is required. How patient you are and how passionate you are. There has to be a balance between the two. You just can't, be a lousy guy with a loose tongue. This is not a program manager we are talking about. Okay, the eligibility requirements, as you might have already read it, for those who are graduates, and naturally all of you are graduates with 16 years of education, you just need 6,000 hours of non-overlapping professional project management experience. And this professional experience will have to be divided into chunks of 3,000 hours each. Half of it must be spent in project management, half of it must be spent in the program management. Sorry, 6,000 hours in project management and 10,500 hours in program management. So what about 6,000? 6,000 hours translates to be 4 years, because PMI generally considers 1,500 hours per year. So 4 years of project management experience and 7 years of program management experience. So that comes out to be about 11 years of experience. And if you're, I am extremely sorry, this we are talking about the secondary diploma person. I was just imagining that this is too much of an experience. For you, it is 4 years of project and 4 years of program management experience. For those who are not graduates, they are diploma holders, they should have 4 years of project management and 7 years of program management. I hope I've clarified that. I'm sorry for the mistake, but this is now clear that with your experience, you need 4 years of project management, 4 years of program management experience. Zishan.
Sir, if I'm also working on program and project, let's say 80% of the time I work on a program and 20% on a project. So the kind of overlapping or how we can manage into eligibility?
You can't. It clearly says unique non-overlapping experience.
Okay.
Now, this non-overlapping is even for, you can't deal with 2 programs at a time. You can't deal with 2 projects at a time. But to talk about dealing with projects and programs simultaneously, you can't do that. So that experience will not be counted. It is overlapping.
If you are a program manager, then you are continuing going as a program manager.
Yeah, of course.
And then
how can a program manager be a project manager as well? Maybe it is another project. How can these 2 responsibilities, these heavy 2 responsibilities, can be taken by a single person?
Yeah, actually it depends on the organization, and also depends on if it's really a huge sum program. As I mentioned that in my job role, it sometimes happens that you are, let's say, working 80% of the time on a program, but you are also driving some small project.
So I will
20% of time.
I will recommend that you show your program management experience there, and don't talk about your project management experience.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And try to have this non-overlapping thing strictly followed. And you have this non-overlapping thing already understood in PMP, but this is the diagram to show that, and probably this is exactly the same diagram except for it is showing the projects and programs separately. Just that. So programs, even projects or programs, cannot overlap. So there could be gaps. There could be gap in between 2 projects or 2 programs, but they cannot overlap. GSN.
जी सर। Sir, just to explain the overlapping concept, your point is right. That overall it should not be double counted. The number of hours should not be double counted.
या
Just in case, जैसे कि इन्होंने कहा, ज़ीशान ने या शायद फहद ने, कि मैं multiple projects पे काम कर रहा था. So just in case प्रोजेक्ट साइमल्टेनियसली, सिर्फ ये ध्यान रखना है कि आपने अगर 1500 आवर्स 1 ईयर को काउंट कर रहे हैं और 2 प्रोजेक्ट्स पे काम किया आपने, तो उसको 750 काउंट करें, उसको 1500 काउंट ना करें. जस्ट ये इसके अंदर ख्याल रखना है आपने.
नहीं, इसमें ऐसा एक मसला और भी है. मसला ये है कि अगर आपकी जो डेट भी तो देनी होती है ना कि कब से कब तक किया. जब आप डेट ओवरलैपिंग दे देंगे तो वो स्ट्रेट अवे एक का एक्सपीरियंस काउंट कर लेंगे, दूसरे का नहीं करेंगे. नो मैटर आपने वो हाफ दिया या फुल दिया, आपको डेट्स भी चेंज करनी पड़ेगी.
सर नहीं, मैं वही सर एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ कि लेट्स से 2015 में मैंने 2 प्रोजेक्ट्स किए.
ठीक है,
राइट. तो 2 प्रोजेक्ट्स ओवरऑल 2015 का मैं 2000 आवर्स 4000 आवर्स नहीं काउंट कर सकता, बट स्टिल 2015 into 2, that project 1 I spent 1000 hours, project 2 I spent 1000 hours. That is acceptable. Just I'm sharing my experience on
मतलब आपने किया ये कि आप कहते हैं कि जी जनवरी से लेकर जून तक मैंने पहला प्रोजेक्ट किया और उसमें मेरे इतने घंटे लग गए, और फिर जून से लेकर दिसंबर तक मैंने दूसरा किया और उसमें इतने घंटे लग गए, तो वो काउंट हो जाएगा.
That is one scenario. That is one scenario. I am talking about another scenario where I worked on 2 projects from January to June. सेम 6 months मैंने प्रोजेक्ट ए पे भी काम किया, सेम 6 months मैंने प्रोजेक्ट बी पे भी काम किया. ओनली पॉइंट पीएमआई इज कंसर्न्ड अबाउट कि 8 आवर्स पर डे की कैप है, 40 आवर्स पर वीक की कैप.
नहीं, ये पीएमआई से फिर आपका वो ऑडिट में वास्ता नहीं पड़ा होगा, ये निकल गया होगा उसमें से. ये बड़ा क्लियरली यहाँ पे आप डायग्राम में देखिए, वो ओवरलैप को मैंने ये एक्सपीरियंस किया है. अब जो उनका नया सिस्टम है उसमें तो वो आपको अकोमोडेट ही नहीं करने देता. जब आप दूसरा प्रोजेक्ट उन्हें डेट्स में देते हैं तो वो कहता है कन्फ्लिक्ट आ गया, भले आप वो आधा टाइम दें या पूरा टाइम दें, कहता है जी कन्फ्लिक्ट आ गया, इसको हटाएं यहाँ से. तो ये बात जो है ये थोड़ी, वैसे अगर आप समझते हैं तो हम इसको पीएमआई से भी क्लैरिफाई कर सकते हैं, लेकिन आई एम वेरी क्लियर अबाउट इट कि यू हैव टू स्प्लिट योर प्रोजेक्ट. अगर आप थोड़ा कहानी बनाना चाहते हैं तो वो यही बन सकती है कि आप उनकी डेट्स आगे पीछे कर दें और अपने बॉस से बात कर ले कि सर मैं ऐसे शो नहीं कर सकता, इसलिए मैं इस तरह शो कर रहा हूँ. अगर वो उसको ऑब्जेक्शन ना हो तो पीएमआई के लिए भी ठीक हो जाएगा.
चले इसको सर जरा अगर वेरीफाई करवा दें, क्योंकि मैं भी अपने स्टूडेंट्स को यही बताता हूँ.
नहीं, वो बड़ी
जो है आप स्किप कर सकते.
असल में मसला पता है क्या है, पीएमपी के एग्जाम के अंदर ऑडिट होता है 10%. वो कोई खुशकिस्मती होती होगी कि उन बंदों का ऑडिट नहीं आया होगा, वरना जो पकड़ा जाता है उसको तो वो बड़ा बुरी तरह से रगड़ते हैं.
चले सर ये चेक कर लेते हैं इंशाल्लाह.
हाँ जी,
मैं इसको फिर करेक्ट कर लूंगा अपनी नेक्स्ट प्रेजेंटेशन में.
बिल्कुल.
सर वैसे ऑन दिस सेम नोट, जब मैंने पीएमपी के लिए अपना एप्लीकेशन पुट फोर्थ की थी तो आई वाज ऑडिटेड.
ओके.
तो ये बात जो आप कह रहे हैं, मतलब आई थिंक दिस इज वैलिड कि वो जो है 2 प्रोजेक्ट्स आप एक सिमिलर ड्यूरेशन पे और स्टार्ट एंड डेट्स पे नहीं बता सकते, वो उसको एक ही काउंट करता है.
जी बिल्कुल, उसको एक
और जी, और लेकिन ऑडिट प्रोसेस was straightforward as long as whatever you are claiming somebody can speak on your behalf. I mean somebody can vouch on that. I think they are good with that.
बिल्कुल. मतलब देखें आप, जैसे आप कहते हैं जी कि ये जो 1500 आवर्स हैं ये तो 40 आवर्स पर वीक पर क्या कहते हैं आप वीक के हिसाब से वीक पूरे कम है. और पाकिस्तान में तो हम लोग क्लेम करते हैं जी हम तो जनाब 6 days a week काम करते हैं और हम 10-10 घंटे काम करते हैं और हम वीकेंड पे भी काम करते हैं. तो उस हिसाब से तो आपके कोई 3000 घंटे या 4000 घंटे बन जाते होंगे साल के. तो वो लोग क्लेम करते हैं, लेकिन उसकी फिर जस्टिफिकेशन देनी पड़ती है कि हम इतने घंटे एक साल में क्यों करें. आप जी हमारे टाइमिंग ये है और ये, उसको जस्टिफाई करना पड़ता है. अगर वो जस्टिफाई हो जाए तो उस पर कोई मसला नहीं है. आप 3000 घंटे भी एक साल में शायद निकाल दें. वैसे एक साल के बनते हैं 2500 घंटे तक मैक्सिमम बन सकते हैं एक साल में, लेकिन पीएमआई ने सेफ रखा हुआ है 1500 घंटे, जो कि 40 आवर्स पर वीक से भी कम है. ऐसे ही है ना जी?
जी सर, कैप 2000 की है और विद इन दैट ऑन एवरेज 1500 मंथ्स है, 1500 आवर्स है, कैप 2000 आवर्स की है।
तो हाँ बनते हैं जी, वो इस वजह से है ना कि 52 वीक्स मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 40 इज 2080, 2080 घंटे बनते हैं अगर अमेरिकन टाइम के हिसाब से काम किया जाए तो। लेकिन ये है कि अगर आप क्लेम करते हैं और डिफेंड करते हैं कि जी हमारे पाकिस्तान में काम जो है वो क्या कहते हैं 6 डेज अ वीक होता है, तो वो फिर उसके हिसाब से कंसिडर कर लेते हैं, वो इस कैप
सही,
ऊपर कर देते हैं, ये पॉसिबल है। लेकिन वो जो प्रोजेक्ट वाली बात हमने की वो ओवरलैपिंग अलाउड नहीं है। बट एनीवेज जैसे
ठीक सर,
ऐसे कह रहे हैं हम उसको चेक भी कर सकते हैं, मगर क्योंकि मैं काफी अरसे से ये चीज कर रहा हूँ तो मुझे अंदाजा है कि ये गड़बड़ या होती है।
सही सर।
अच्छा जी, मूविंग ऑन, इसकी फीस का जनाब सिलसिला, अभी तो ये मैं देखता हूं तो बड़ी खुशी होती है कि इतनी कम हो गई फीस। मैंने $2500 फीस पे की थी पीजीएमपी की, अब सिर्फ $800 है। तो अब तो ये वही तकरीबन एसपी की जमाने और रिस्क की और स्केजुलिंग की $750 होती थी जब मैंने किया था। अब वो भी कोई मेरा ख्याल है $550 के $600 के करीब आ गई है। तो ये बहुत अच्छा हो गया है, इन्होंने बीच में से वो निकाल भी दी हैं बहुत सारी चीजें। आई मीन वो पैनल रिव्यू तो है, 360 डिग्री इवेल्युएशन निकाल दी है, और मेरा ख्याल है उसकी वजह से भी कॉस्ट कम हुई, और वैसे भी इन्होंने कॉस्ट कम की है। तो मेंबर के लिए तो टोटल $800 है। तो ये तो बिल्कुल, मैं कहता हूँ कि बिल्कुल ही आसान हो गया। और अगर नॉन मेंबर है तो $1000 है। और अगर आप री एग्जामिन होने के लिए जा रहे हैं तो फिर सिर्फ $600 है। इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि $200 आपकी प्रोसेसिंग फी है, जिसके अंदर पैनल रिव्यू भी आ जाता है, बाकी चीजें भी आ जाती हैं। जस्ट $200 आपके बीच में से वो काट रहे हैं। उसके बाद इफ यू हैव टू री अपीयर इन द एग्जाम यू पे $600, एंड इफ यू डू इट थर्ड टाइम अगेन यू हैव टू पे 600। तो मैं ये कहूंगा फॉर दैट मैटर टू बी ऑन द सेफ साइड, अल्लाह करे कि मतलब यू डू pass in the very first attempt just in $800, but you must reserve an amount of at least $1400 फॉर पीजीएमपी। ये एलोकेट करके रख लें अपने पास कि जी एक दफा तो फेल होने का इम्कान है, लेकिन आई स्टिल प्रे दैट यू ऑल विल पास इन द वेरी फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट। नेचुरली जैसे जैसे टाइम गुजर रहा है द थिंग्स आर मोर क्लियर। हमारे जमाने में बिल्कुल चीज क्लियर नहीं होती थी, तो तकरीबन हर कोई फेल हो जाता था। Now a lot of training is available, lot of things have become simple. PMI also have learned a lot many things, तो उसकी वजह से चीजें सिस्टम स्ट्रीमलाइन भी हो गए हैं। तो ये हो सकता है आपका काम $800 में ही क्लियर हो जाए। रिन्यूअल फीस is $60, and if you are not a member it is $150. I don't think कि हमें ये पेपर बेस्ड टेस्टिंग को देखने की जरूरत है, दिस इज नॉट अवेलेबल। जी फहद।
Sir, I have a question about the eligibility criteria once more.
जी
When I applied for PMP certification, so the experience that I quoted there was my Malaysian experience. I mean, I think the requirement was for about three years of experience or something like that. So I quoted that experience which I gathered in Malaysia. Now, if I'm to apply for the PGMP certification,
जी
the experience which I put forth for PMP, that was actually multiple projects coordinated all together that I worked on. So can I use the same experience and quote that as my PGMP experience, or is it strictly
No.
not allowed?
You can quote that experience as your project management experience, and after that you
Okay,
can quote 4 more years for the program management.
okay, okay.
दिस इज अलाउड कि जो आपने एक्सपीरियंस अपना प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट में पहले से शो किया हुआ है वही आप शो कर सकते हैं। लेकिन जहां एक कैविएट है जिसको समझना है, और वो ये है कि आपके एक्सपीरियंस के अंदर गैप नहीं आना चाहिए। आई मीन बहुत ज्यादा गैप नहीं आना चाहिए। इफ योर टू कमिटमेंट्स या टू इनिशिएटिव्स जो आपके हैं उनके अंदर विद इन 3 years का गैप होना, तो दैट इज ऑल राइट। But if you have not done anything for 3 years, then your previous experience is considered to be zero. इस चीज को जरा नोट कीजिएगा। तो मेरा ख्याल है कि ऐसी सिचुएशन इट विल नॉट अकर विद यू, बिकॉज यू पीपल आर कॉन्टिन्यूसली वर्किंग एंड you do not have that big a gap anywhere, so that would not be a problem. But generally अगर ये बीच में गैप छोटे छोटे हैं तो you can quote experiences even बिफोर दैट 5 साल 10 साल 15 साल तक का भी एक्सपीरियंस आप शो कर सकते हैं. बट अगेन माय रिकमेंडेशन वुड बी दैट यू ओनली शो द बेयर मिनिमम रिक्वायरमेंट स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द एंड. आपके 8 इयर्स चाहिए, 4 इयर्स पहले प्रोग्राम मैनेजमेंट के पूरे करें और 4 इयर्स प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट के विद अ लिटिल बोनस में. थोड़ा सा 4 हैं तो 4.5 साल कर दें आप, 4.25 साल शो कर दें. मगर ये है कि बहुत ज्यादा जब आप दिखाएंगे तो ऑडिट के चांसेस उतने ज्यादा बढ़ जाएंगे.
और सर वो प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट का जो एक्सपीरियंस आई गेस उसका तो रिक्वायरमेंट वो शायद वेव ऑफ कर देते हैं इफ यू आर अ पीएमपी सर्टिफाइड. इज इट ट्रू?
नहीं वो वेव ऑफ हो गया ना, वो आप शो जो कर रहे हैं
ओके,
एक्सपीरियंस दोबारा शो कर रहे हैं ना आप.
ठीक 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 है सर,
वो तो हो गया ना, वेव ऑफ ही हो गया एक तरह से.
बिल्कुल सही है.
Yeah. So this was the fee structure, and then we have this is the description of the evaluation. One, panel review में क्या होता है? Panel review process begins once the certification payment is received. As soon as you pay your fee $800 और audit complete हो जाता है, after that a panel of volunteer PgMP certified program managers will assess your professional experience based on your responses for the program management experience summaries on the PGMP application. जो एप्लीकेशन आप फिल करेंगे उसको thoroughly वो लोग छांटेंगे. This review panel consists of individuals from around the world who through an application process have been identified as subject matter experts in the program management and have been trained and calibrated to assess your answers to the program management experience summaries. To protect against any potential review bias, PMI will ensure that your identity will not be known to the panel reviewers. अब वो एक बड़ा आजकल मसला बना हुआ है कि एवरीथिंग जो जितनी भी रिसर्च करवा रहे हैं पीएमए वाले हमारे रीजन की वो इंडिया में करा रहे हैं. ये बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है वैसे बाय द वे, और ये मतलब दिस इज नॉट रियली वेरी फेयर टू पाकिस्तान. बट एनीवेज वो बायस कहें या ना कहें आ तो जाता ही है ना बीच में. द रिव्यू विल वेरीफाई that you under very limited supervision, this is important, with very limited supervision have been responsible for the coordinated management of multiple related component projects and directed towards a common organizational objective. इतनी सी बात पूरी करनी है. अब जो आप कह रहे हैं कि जी वो हमारा exactly उस हिसाब से नहीं बन रहा कि जिस तरह से उन्होंने बताया हुआ है स्टैंडर्ड के अंदर, don't worry about that. Actually what is happening is कि we are ये वाला फिक्रा आप पढ़ लें, इस फिक्रे को आपने सेटिस्फाई करना है कि भले आपके हाँ उसको प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर कह रहा है या स्पॉन्सर कह रहा है, बट यू आर डीलिंग विद मल्टीपल प्रोजेक्ट्स और वो प्रोग्राम की सूरत में हो रहे हैं और वो ये काम हो रहा है तो ठीक है. सो इट विल फुलफिल दैट क्राइटेरिया. Okay, if you fail the panel review, a certification associate will contact you to discuss your status. It is not possible to continue on to the examination without passing this review. तो review आपको दोबारा देना पड़ेगा या आपको रीअप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. तो वो आपको गाइड करेंगे, बताएंगे कि जनाब your review is failed due to these reasons, and ultimately once you pass the panel review you will be eligible to take the exam. तो वो फिर आगे आपको पता ही है कि किस तरह how you appear in the exam. This process takes approximately 4 weeks to complete. फिर आपका आ गया जनाब एवेल्युएशन का जो 2 है, और 2 में आपका एग्जाम आ जाएगा, वो आप उसे कर लेंगे. 170 क्वेश्चन हैं एग्जाम के अंदर एंड 20 क्वेश्चन आर अनस्कोर्ड. इसका मतलब है कि स्कोर्ड क्वेश्चन आर जस्ट 150 एंड वी हैव गॉट 4 आवर्स. नॉट वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम पीएमपी. पीएमपी में 200 क्वेश्चन थे, here 170. Don't be very happy about it because these PGMP questions are very difficult and very complicated and very lengthy. My experience is, I don't know, they might have changed lot many things. They might have made the questions easier, but when I was giving the PGMP exam, the questions, some of the questions were so lengthy that they did not fit in one screen. At least 2 screens लगती थी उस पूरे क्वेश्चन को पढ़ने में. And by the time you are reading the bottom of the question, you have completely forgotten what was in the beginning of the question. So you have to go back and read it again, and that took a lot of time. So 170 is a difficult target. It is not really a very easy target. So 170 questions. And the second point, which probably you are a PMP, you already know that, ये जो 20 questions pre-test हैं, please do not consider them at all. You will be presented 170 questions. You have to pass in 170 questions. You don't know what are those 20 questions which are unscored, so forget about them. Don't count on 150. Count on 170. I hope you understand this point. This is very important. People normally calculate wrongly. They say, okay, this is just 150 questions. If I do say 100 questions right, I will pass. Sorry, sir, 100 questions you won't pass. And second thing is, the pass criteria is not known to you. Nobody knows the pass criteria. It is the percentile, and even the percentile is not known to you. So you must target for 80 to 90%. You must target, to be safe, 80 to 90%. Rather, I would say 85 to 90%. Only then you will pass. So forget about other calculations, 170, 150, how many questions. No, you have to get them all right. That's it. And this is the same requirement which we already know, that they are developed by independent body, and you know what all we already know. So these questions are exactly according to the test specifications which were developed from the market analysis, and they are given in examination content outline, which you can download from PMI website. And examination content outline is your syllabus, and you have to exactly prepare according to that. Do not prepare according to the standard for program management only. The core syllabus is given in the examination content outline, and your standard for program management might not go into that much detail at several places. Therefore, do not just follow the standard, follow the examination content outline, and if you find some heading or topic which is not covered in the standard or in any of the standard, then you have to go and read it from, understand it from other sources. So it is no excuse that this is out of syllabus. Nothing is out of syllabus. Anything can come from anywhere, but all the things in examination content outline are the valid topics for your questions, no matter it is covered in the standard or not. Okay, this is the blueprint of your PgMP exam, and you might have seen it already. There are 5 domains, and the second domain is the heaviest one of them all. But other domains are really very important also. Number 1 domain is a strategic program management, and they have defined 11 different tasks in strategic project management that a program manager should know. This carries 15% of the exam weightage. Domain 2 is program lifecycle, which includes initiation, planning, executing, controlling, and closing. And this is a total of 35 tasks, 6 for initiation, 9 for planning, 9 for executing, 6 for controlling, and 5 for closing. And the total percentage of this domain is the heaviest one, is 44%. And within this 44%, 6% is from initiation, 11 from planning, 14 from execution, 10 from controlling, and 3 from closing. Then is the benefit management domain, and we have 8 tasks you must know and understand, and 11% of the weightage. Stakeholder management, 7 tasks and 16% of the weightage. Governance, 11 tasks and 14% of the weightage. If you look at your standard, you will find the sequence is slightly different. It starts with strategic program management, then benefit management, then stakeholder management, then governance, and the life cycle is shown as the 5th area or chapter or topic. And within the life cycle, it talks about not the initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, control, and close. It talks about kind of knowledge areas. It talks about 9 knowledge areas there, and just like PMBOK, PMBOK is written according to the knowledge areas and tested according to the process groups. Here also, it is the life cycle chapter is divided into 9 knowledge areas, and it is tested on process groups. And there is an interesting fact which I'll discuss later also. That is, this initiation, planning, execution, controlling, and closing does not fit well with program management, because program management lifecycle is slightly different. So I am very much expecting that in the next cycle, in the next version of program management standard, they might have to revise this. But for the time being, there is no problem. You have to follow this. I have made it even more easier for you by uh, dividing this thing into more clearer details in subsequent slides. So for exam content outline, this is a booklet, a very small little booklet, but you must download it, and this is your Bible. This is your exam content outline. This is your syllabus. You have to follow what come may. You have to follow this because all the questions are coming out of this. So it talks about the 5 domains. In strategic program management, you must know how to identify opportunities and benefits that achieve the organization's strategic objective through program implementation. So this is one thing in strategic program management. Naturally, once we will study more in detail, we will talk more about these things. But the one skill required from you is identifying opportunities and benefits that achieve the organization's strategic objective through program implementation. Activities related to program cycle are initiation planning, as we have already discussed. Initiation talks about defining the program and its constituent projects. The initiation of the projects also is included in the program life cycle, and obtaining agreement from the stakeholders, that is the signing off. Then we have got planning that defines the program scope, and developing the program, including all constituent projects and all activities that occur within the program. Then is execution, performing work necessary to achieve the program's objectives and deliver program benefit, not the deliverable. Benefit of the program has to be delivered. Controlling talks about monitoring progress, updating program plans as required, and managing change and risk. You see, there might be a lot of questions, but they will be answered subsequently. But you see, it is going to be slightly different than the project management. Finalizing all program activities, finalizing all program activities, including all constituent projects, executing transition plan. This is something you need to understand what a transition plan is and why is it there in program management, because it has to transit the benefits to the operations or the customer. Archiving, obtaining approvals, and reporting, this all is included in closing. Then benefit management is about defining, creating, and maximizing and sustaining the benefit. It is what are the benefits required, how to create them, how to be to optimize that, how to sustain the benefit. When the benefit has been delivered, program is also responsible for sustaining the benefit and then transiting it to whomsoever in a running format. Stakeholder management, capturing the stakeholder needs and expectations, gaining and maintaining the stakeholder support, and mitigating and channeling opposition. That is your skill of communication and conflict management and problem solving, and all that will come into play. All the soft skills come into play here. Governance talks about the establishing processes and procedures for maintaining program management, oversight, and decision making for applicable policies, practices throughout the entire program life cycle. We'll talk a lot about governance later in a chapter. So these domains have been restructured and revised from the first edition, second edition, and now it is the third edition. And naturally, as the new standard would be coming up, they will further be changed. So some of the tasks have been added, some have been reduced, and some have been merged and all that. The final model contains total of 72 tasks a program manager must be capable of doing. And it also shows 127 different knowledge and skills a program manager must have. So you have to demonstrate all this to pass your program management exam. So this is again the same distribution, 35 tasks divided like that, and 72 total tasks, and this is the total of 100% on the percentage side. You can download these slides. Now we are coming to the end of the times here. I would require you to please go through these tasks, and we will discuss them tomorrow right from here. Each domain and each task we will briefly discuss about it, and then we'll move ahead. So that's all from my side for today. If you have any questions, you can talk about them. Janab.
Thank you very much.
So can we just agree on the time moving forward so that?
Yes, of course. We have already agreed before you joined. We will be meeting tomorrow at 3 and leaving at 5, right? And there might be some days which might not be suitable for few. We will decide later that we will conduct the class that day or not. And if at all we have to conduct, then the recording will be shared with that person. But if we all agree not to join that day, then that would be okay with everybody. So from tomorrow onwards, I will amend on the GoToMeeting site all the timing from 3 to 5. Is it okay with everybody?
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining me, and we will see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Inshallah.
3 p.m. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.